Ciao Bella, and welcome back to my studio. Today I want to share some tips on sketching tools. So these pens are what I generally take on tours sketching, and even just out and about around home if I'm out sketching somewhere local. So this is a art pen. And I get these, I used to buy them from the art store because that's where I could only get them, but they are also available at Officeworks, which I think most people have an Officeworks shop near them, and probably online as well. But this particular one that I do like is a 0.8 uni pin fine line. It's a permanent ink, so it doesn't bleed when it's wet. And these come in different grades, so you can get right down to 0.1, which is a very, very fine mark, up to, I think, further than 8. So I find 8 is quite sufficient for what I need for myself. So the mark that it will make is a mark about like that. So if you wanted a finer mark, you might want to go down a couple of grades if you didn't want such a heavy sketching line. So they're quite good for sketching. It's probably one I use a lot, the most of. This is also, sometimes you might not be able to get the uni pin, although they're nearly everywhere these days. This is a micron pen in a 0.8. It's much the same thing. Sometimes they're called pit pens. It's pretty much the same thing. I've probably picked this up one day because I couldn't get a uni pin, but they work in exactly the same way. It's also a permanent ink, and it's archival, as the other one is as well. The other colour, and that these come in different colours, so particularly in the uni pin, you can get greys, you can get a few different colours now, they're bringing them out in, but I really do like a sepia colour, and it's just like a light brown. Now, I tend to use this when I don't want to be able to see so much of an outline. I might be sketching a person, and I don't particularly want a really dark line sometimes when I might be sketching someone. So I might want a lighter line. It tends to disappear more once you put the paint onto it. You don't see it as much. So that's why I do like the sepia pen. That's a sepia colour. It's also waterproof and fade resistant, so it doesn't run. It's in the uni pin. Now, these uni pins also come in a brush marker, and these you can get a much heavier line, and it's more like you can paint with them. You can fill in areas. So if I wanted to fill in here, so it's a heavier line, but it's more in the way of a brush. So they call them brush markers. And you can see how that works. That's also, it's also a permanent ink. I put some tape around it with a bee because they're easily, I'm always picking up the wrong brush. So it just makes it easier for me to pick up quickly to be able to see that. So they're my main pens that I use. Apart from that, there are some other pens which are actually water soluble. And this is just a cheap art line fine liner. It's not waterproof. And I have done some good drawings with these pens. And I do kind of like them because they are a lot looser. They give a much looser painting in the end. And I'll show you in a minute when I hit that with some water what actually happens to that. pen and the nice effect that you can get. Let's just say I'll just put a few marks so that I can hit that with water and see what happens. Okay, I'll do that now. So with my water brush, and you can see once I hit that just with water, it's quite good if you just want something that actually doesn't have a lot of colour. If you're painting a scene that you don't really require a lot of colour, you just want it to be monotone. I've done a few boating scenes like this, and it's very quick and easy, and I rather like the effect of that, the way the pen runs and makes its own colour. So that's just a simple outline. You should be able to buy these at any newsagents. They're not waterproof. Just if you're asking, ask for something, a pen that is not waterproof. You want it to run. So the other lovely pen I have is a nib pen, and I got this one online. And it actually gives some lovely marks, and I can do a strong mark like this, or I can do more of a fine line. So and good for lettering. The only drawback on this is, which I don't know if I really call it a drawback, because it's just as long as you know what it does, is that it does run when you hit it with water. It's nice if you just want to do a sketch without any paint at all, but it does run a lot more than the outline pen. But if you wanted a really dark effect, it's quite good for that. Okay, just cleaning up the brush. All right, the other pen that I like to use for highlights is a gel pen. You can buy these anywhere. Officeworks, some newsagents have pens, so you can get all different colours in these. But I just take a white pen, and it's just for doing highlights. You know, there might be a mast on a boat or something that you didn't save the white of the paper, so that's fine. You just come in with a few flicks of a gel pen and put some little highlights on what you're doing. Okay, so that's that one. The other pen you can use is a Posca. These Posca pens are widely used by artists. And they come in all different shapes and sizes. This one's a really fine one. I think it's the finest one. And then they go right up to a great big jumbo size. I wouldn't be taking that away. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with these pens because you have to shake them to get them to work. But you do get a stronger, more of a painterly mark with them. You can see that I find them a little bit annoying sometimes because they gum up so easily and they go everywhere as well. But if you want a pen that's you get more pigment out of, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. I think really that my preference is, as a highlight, a white highlight, is just for a gel pen. They do run out. Check your supplies if you have had them for a while before you go away, because, you know, the pens do run out, so you might need to replace some before you go away. So that's my take on on the pens, in this book here, I'll show you where I have used that Artline pen that runs. So this is just very minimal. There's no colour, there's no watercolour paint whatsoever in that drawing. It's just drawn with an Artline non-permanent, so it runs, this one, pen, and then hit with water, and it gives that lovely effect. Also these boats here, same pen. So enjoy. That's my selection of pens. You might have different pens that you want to bring. You might be quite comfortable using other brands, and that's quite all right. Talk soon. Bye.